What's going on, everybody? It's the Scene Snob here, Mick Manhattan. I'm back again with another episode of the Scene Snob Reviews. And today I'm reviewing an indie movie that came out in 2018 that I had just seen last night. It's a little known. Like, usually I like to do new movies or new TV shows for the Scene Snobs podcast, or Scene Snobs Reviews, rather. But this was such a good movie. I'm going to see it in the theaters next Saturday. And I'm going to get to also interview the director, A.T. White. So I'm very much looking forward to that. When I saw this movie last night, I couldn't wait. I wanted to watch it before had interviewed him. I was going to interview him before I watch it in the theater next week. So I don't mind watching it twice, and that kind of gives you an indication of what I'm looking at. And just to pull away from this a little bit, so basically, it takes place in like an alternate reality 80s. I believe it seems like it was in the 80s based on technology and things like that. And it follows this girl named Aubrey. She is in her hometown for her best friend's funeral, and she's grieving hard. Like, this is somebody she truly loves and cares about, like a sister. And she breaks into her apartment just because she wants to feel closer to her. She feeds her turtle. She makes her tea, and she just kind of wants to stay there before her flight home. So she's staying in the apartment, and then she wakes up the next morning, and like, she's dealing a lot with loneliness and a lot with her grieving and guilt and things like that. And then she goes to bed that night, and she wakes up the next morning, and the end of the world. So basically, portals are opening up, and creatures from other dimensions have taken over the world and are killing everyone. And you find that out through beautiful visionary storytelling. Like, the thing I loved about it the most was these things are happening. They are real. They're treated as such. And the story in the movie that is the main storyline has nothing to do with those interdimensional beings or creatures or such, as I should say. It has to do with Aubrey dealing with her grieving, her guilt, and her loneliness. Those are her real villains, antagonists of the story, if you will. It's just everything else she's dealing with outside of it. Her journey only happens because of what's going on with the creatures. Is put on. So, like, her best friend left her a mixtape, and she listens to it, and she says, I have made, it's based on these sound waves. We can save the world. That's all I'm going with. I don't want to give anything away. I don't want to go anywhere else with that. I don't want to spoil anything if you haven't seen it. So basically, the whole point is her friend hid 7 tapes all around this hometown of hers. And she now has to brave the elements because it's like 4 feet of snow outside, freezing cold weather, and there's killer creatures running around from another dimension. So she has to brave it all on her own to go and get these tapes and thinking that these will save the world. And again, I'm saying thinking, but that doesn't mean they don't. Or it doesn't mean that they do. I am not going to spoil this for you. I want you to watch it. So Virginia Gardner plays the role of Aubrey. She is essentially all you really see. You do see flashes of her best friend Grace. You do see flashes of another guy who you assume she was in a relationship with, and you don't know the extent. Well, you'd find out, but like, it's open to interpretation of what the extent of that relationship was. But primarily in the present day, she is the character. That is who you're following. The thing I loved about this movie the most is, like, if you know me, one of my favorite movies of all time, especially because of the opening, is Rio Bravo. The first 7, 8 minutes of that movie, there is not one word said. And it tells you the entirety of the backstory you need to know going into it. And it does it all through looks, emotion, music, sounds. Just everything about it is truly brilliant and perfect. It's an amazing movie. And if you haven't seen it, you should check it out. After the funeral, which is very quick and not much is said on it, She talks to one character and it's for like 30 seconds and then she goes. Nothing is said for like the next, like, I don't know, 20 minutes of the movie, and you are enthralled in this movie. It pulls you in and keeps you there. She is so wonderful in this role. Virginia Garner kept me from beginning to end just completely focused in on this role. And there was a point where when you first experience the creatures and they start chasing her, or one starts chasing her, and they end up getting it away, it leaves and she ends up being okay. You start asking, what the hell is going on? What are these things? And that doesn't change because you see more of them as they go on. A whole lot more eventually. And you get the scope of them. But they become secondary to what she's going through. Now you're on this journey for her to get over her grief. You understand that she thinks she's trying to save the world. Again, I say thinks, but that doesn't mean that she is or she isn't. I'm not giving this away. So I just want to reiterate that. So she is on this journey, and you are focused on her going through this journey. Now, the most beautiful thing about this is it is essentially a mixtape. Each tape has a song, and she has to listen to that song because there's a sequence to all of these songs together. And from beginning to end, she listens to all of these songs. And there's a message there. And you do not find out till the end, but there is a message there for her. And you find out what the whole through line of the movie is, what she was really doing, what she was really fixing, what the whole nine was. And it was just, but each song transports her to a different place. It essentially acts, there's a beautiful animation scene, there's beautiful landscapes that we see. She gets transported everywhere, and she even gets transported to a meta world at some point, and it's beautiful and perfect and amazing, and I loved it. And also a very cool director cameo, a la Alfred Hitchcock. So you were following this great music throughout, and it is a mixtape of songs that transport you to different places, and it's just, and he makes you feel it throughout. So the fact that this actress keeps you involved the entire time, you do not get bored. There's boredom in the movie. Boredom is a part of this. Boredom is a part of the story being told. So it's trying to make you feel her boredom, and you're still not bored. You're still there with her, along with this journey, wanting to find out what's going on, or how it's going to how she'll redeem herself, or how she will overcome her emotions and such, and deal with what's going on in this world. So I don't want to delve too much. I feel like I'm going to spoil stuff, and I don't want to do that. All I can say is it was a truly fascinating movie. And I don't use fascinating often in these reviews, because as much as I may find a great movie or a great TV show, I don't always find them fascinating. This was truly fascinating. The cinematography was amazing. The acting was perfect. She did such an amazing job in this movie, which also leads me to the direction was fantastic, because he had to direct her. It was, of course, a group effort, but like, he had to direct her to be this way. It had, and this was his vision. So truly just beautiful story. And the story is very interesting. It starts off slow. It kind of stays slow. Even when there's danger lurking, it still stays slow, but the music helps you get through. You are essentially feeling this mixtape, and it's helping you get through as it is her. So I know it's from 2018. If you are in the Virginia area, North Virginia area, and you can get out to Winchester next Saturday, buy a ticket at the Alamo Winchester. Go see Starfish. He's going to be there. A.T. White's going to be there for a Q&A. It's going to be truly great. I know it, because it is a great movie, and I just want you guys to enjoy it. But if you can't get out there, I found it on Hulu, and I think it's on Amazon Prime as well. So I would definitely check this movie out. again, fascinating movie, all around beautiful and wonderful, and just a great job in filmmaking. This was his first feature, and he's made music videos before, and he's made shorts and things like that. But and I kind of want to go check them out. I think I will. I want to check them out and see what else he's done. But I just, it was blown away. So please go check out this movie. It's called Starfish. It's from 2018. It's directed by A.T. White, starring Virginia Gardner, and it is an end of the world movie. But end of the world is secondary to what the beauty of the true story. So with that being said, I am the Scene Snob. I look forward to hearing what you guys think of the movie. If you've seen it, or if you haven't seen it, check out and you check out this review and you go and see it. Let me know. Comment below. Send me messages. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at The Scene Snob. All of my videos, all of my podcasts, everything is thescenesnobs.com. You can get everything there, all the links, the whole nine. So please go check everything out. Next week we have John Carpenter Appreciation Week. So every show is going to be dealing with John Carpenter in some way and discussing different versions of his work and things like that. So, and it all culminates in a John Carpenter themed show for my brand new show with my co-host Rob Gocher. We are doing Behind the Box, which is video store kids just talking about the cult classics and the stuff off the beaten path of the video store. The stuff that we love, the campy, all that jazz. So, and also we have another new podcast that just came out last week. The first 2 episodes are out, and we're recording the third this week. So it's Pulling Focus Podcast with my co-host Brian Patrick from Skyline Indie Film Festival. We are also proud sponsors over at the Alamo Draft House Winchester of Lost Weekend 13, the film festival. Go check it out. It's 44 films, $40 for a weekend pass, or you can buy individual tickets. So go get your tickets now. Lots of great stuff coming out. They're going to have some guests there, the whole nine. If you see me there, come up, talk to me. Love to talk about movies. So, yeah, definitely. So I really appreciate you guys watching. I hope you enjoy Starfish as much as I did. And take care. Thanks.